shows a very underhanded way to get all of this done if you're the Oakland A's. So how are we going to trust your other words where you're like, we're coming to bring a winning product to you. We're coming to bring something that you're going to want to watch. Instead, join the stadium so that you can continue to line your pockets and not put anything in to the product itself for us to go and watch. I look, it seems like this is moving down a hill and you can't really stop it. But it, like, at this point right now, it leaves a really bad taste in my mouth. And it's the same thing, I don't know if you remember when they were having those hearings for the Allegiant. It gave me the same thought of, I don't know if you remember when they were having actually public comments, and the people who were against it got held firm to their timeline. And the other people, I remember pulling clips sitting there, what Ari is doing now, just sitting there listening to these things and pulling clips of people getting cut off after whatever the time limit was, but the others who were pro for it getting to go on and on and on. I hate the way this looks. 100% hate the way this looks.
We'll get back to it later in the show. I'm not spoiling the night's day and our happiness to cover a good story for the A's and what they did yesterday, and apparently what many politicians are going to jump on board for. And, the sad thing is, will there be repercussions? Will people pay them back with their votes? No, because not enough people here pay attention. And again, I'm wide open. We'll get some of the public servant supporters. We'll get a couple of the detractors on as well. We'll get some more numbers people on this week. I really don't want to bog people down with a story, though, that is probably inevitable no matter what we talk about. So we're here to inform the public. But honestly, a lot of the stuff I saw yesterday, and people were pointing out some of the slides with just outright lies. The A's are so interested in selling this as a low-cost deal. Like, look what we're doing for you, right? You remember we probably don't have the bite anymore. You remember the commercial that ran for Allegiant Stadium?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it was
your stadium.
Yeah, this is all for you, Vegas.
That's right. Yeah.
And the A's are trying to go down the same path. Like, hey, we've got a low-cost deal here. We're almost putting nothing into it. But it's always the stuff on the back end. Mm-hmm. It's always the savings in taxes that they don't have to pay. Anyone out there who believes that the numbers the A's are throwing out are entirely true, that would mean they're walking away from a much, 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 much better deal in the Bay Area. Now, who actually believes that? Because when you look at the numbers that are being presented, this is a terrible deal as compared to the one that they had at Howard Terminal in Oakland. So who believes this, right?
You're a good guy, Steve. It's the most money that's being spent by a team in a public-private partnership.
I saw people point out that even like factoids on the Yankees, their deal, and that was misrepresented. That the Yankees got in excess of like $1.5 billion now and in the future to build their stadium from the public. So, but it's part of the whole shell game that all these major league sports and their owners play, and the commissioners are right there for it. Mm-hmm. So, can I do it? Yes, I can. Because yesterday was awesome. Yesterday was so awesome because there was almost no drama. Here is Dan Duva, one of our best play-by-play guys in the market. I mean, he's trying to get amped up here, but when you kick the crap out of the opposition in a Game 6 sitch, this is what you're going to get. They're going back.
In the Western Conference Final, they will take the Dallas Stars down in 6 games after leading the series 3-0. Carrier, Carlson, Colasar, Marchessault, Carlson, Amadio. This one is over. 6-0. A shutout victory in Game 6 for the Vegas Golden Knights. For the second time in 6 seasons, the Golden Knights will play for the Stanley Cup.
And that's the amazing part, is the second time in 6 seasons, 4 semi-appearances, because obviously the 1 year was screwed up with COVID, so we'll just call it a semifinal appearances. And again, now a second Stanley Cup final, 2 inside of 6 years. And the calls in that first period were awesome. I mean, all drama was just extinguished by 15 minutes into the game. Here's Carrier to go up 1-0.
Colasar finds the puck in the left corner, joined by Nick Waugh. Sidesteps a sandwich. Carrier gets it in front. He shoots. He scores. William Carrier, a backhand goal. And for the third straight game, the Knights take a 1-0 lead. William Carrier's second goal of the playoffs.
1-0 lead. And you hear the names. Carrier. Now, here's one of the bigger stars, but he's the do-it-all guy, and a lot of people think he has been the most valuable player for VGK in the playoffs. He's one of the original misfits. Started out with the organization. Wild Bill.
Barbashev to the right for Smith. Put it in front. Shot, score! Carlson, power play goal. It rattled in front. William Carlson finally found it at the left side of the crease. 2-0 Golden Knights, 9:35 to go in the first period.
Oof. And then you can hear the grumbling. The crowd is starting to get all quiet. And then more depth. Here's Keegan Colasar.
Knights take the puck from behind their goal. Martinez springs Colasar, joined by Carrier. Bank pass to him, left circle, back in front. Colasar scores! What a setup! The Golden Knights have taken a 3-0 lead. 6 minutes to go, first period.
Just that easy. Dallas really had no more life.
No.
They made their push in the previous 2 games. Down they go, and we are freaking so spoiled here. That's why it's so funny talking about an 11-win baseball team coming to Vegas and us building a stadium for them. This is the standard now. We are so spoiled. You ever look at a list of franchises around the NHL and how long their drought is to win a Stanley Cup? There's like 4 organizations that are over 40 freaking years. Now, the Knights haven't won yet, but they're making it for the second time. A lot of these organizations haven't even really challenged to win a cup. They haven't even made a Stanley Cup final. So 2 times in 6 years, 4 in the semis, and now favored in these Stanley Cup finals. This is amazing. And the amazing part of it is, I mentioned Wild Bill. There's only a handful of guys from that original team. And all this ownership group and management has done is look at each year and go, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. And how many organizations in sports do that? There is no, like, when people want to point back to the expansion draft or the NHL handed this to them, not really. They gave them a fair start. But since then, all they've done is make changes and hit on almost everything. And when they don't hit, like, they get this toxic mix with Robin Leonard and Fleury. You just extricate yourself and you move on. And fans aren't going to be happy sometimes, but you move on, you trust your judgment. And now here they are again. I mean, another Stanley Cup final.
I think that's the greatest part about the story for them. It's, getting here is awesome. It's the sustained success in which they've been able to do. And you talk about like the original, group of misfits that they had, and then all the way through and just replacing guys and looking around, seeing what they can do to improve that at the head coaching position too. Right? If it's not good enough, well, guess what? We're moving on. We're going to find another guy. And if that's not good enough, then we're going to move on. We're going to find another guy who we think can fit. And it also speaks to, you said depth. I mean, you're here when you have a guy like Aiden Hill in net, like you're just going around and you're looking at this team, like they're hitting on everything, and they deserve a lot of credit. And to be frank, like when you talk to a lot of NHL fans who have these criticisms of this organization, it's first off, it's jealousy, but it's also misdirected because it doesn't see at all what this organization has been doing since it became a thing 6 years ago. And the fact that they're here again speaks to how brilliant this front office has been.
Keep it locked right here. Cofield and Company will return in minutes on ESPN Las Vegas.